Most e-commerce brands are creating ads completely wrong. They're confusing ad concepts with ad angles, and it's costing them millions in lost revenue. I'm going to show you the exact framework I use with my agency and coaching clients and even my own brand to create unlimited ad variations that actually convert. This is how I've scaled multiple brands from 4 figures to 5 figures to 6 figures a month, 7 figures a month, and even 8 figures a month and beyond. Now let's get into it. So if you don't know me, my name is Littlejohn. I've spent over $330 million profitably on Facebook ads and driven over more than $1.7 billion in attributable revenue. Before we dive into the framework, I need to address the elephant in the room. The number one mistake I see e-commerce brands making is they're not creating enough ads, period. I had a coaching call recently where a brand owner told me, Mason, I've tried everything, my ads just aren't working. When I looked at their ad account, they created maybe 5 ads in the past month. That's it, 5 ads. So here's the reality. If you want to scale in e-commerce, you need to be creating ads consistently, not just when you feel like it, not just when the old ones stop working. Every single week, you need to be making more ads consistently. And I'm not talking about just pumping out random content. I'm talking about strategic, differentiated ads that speak to different customer motivations and use different presentation methods. The solution to underperforming ads isn't to find a scapegoat. It's not to blame the algorithm. It's not to blame iOS 14.5. The solution is to produce more differentiated ads regularly. But here's where most people get stuck. They don't know how to create differentiated ads. They don't have a system. They're just throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping something sticks. That's where this framework comes in. Now let me break down the difference between ad concepts and ad angles, because understanding this distinction is going to unlock unlimited ad variations for your brand. Ad concepts are the methods of presenting your message. Think of these as the how you're communicating. Here are the main ad concepts you should be using: transformation narratives, before and after stories, testimonials, customer reviews and social proof, brand origin stories, why you started the company, behind the scenes, how the product is made, your process, us versus them, how you're different than competitors, product quality showcases, demonstrating craftsmanship, founder-led content, you talking directly to the camera or your customers. These are your presentation methods. Each one serves to communicate your brand's message effectively in a different way. Now, ad angles are completely different. Ad angles are the specific customer motivations, use cases, or problems you're directly addressing. Think of these as the why someone would buy. Let me give you a real example of one of my clients who sells affordable engagement rings. Here are the different angles we identified. Number one is the travel ring angle. Don't risk losing your expensive engagement ring while you're traveling. Instead, get an affordable backup ring that looks just as good. Number two, the backup gym ring angle. This one's interesting. We found that women don't want to wear their expensive rings to the gym, and some use affordable rings to deter even unwanted attention at the gym. Number three, the affordability angle. Get the look of a $10,000 ring for a fraction of the price. Number four, the ethical angle. Concerns about diamond mining and wanting conflict-free alternatives. And number five, the emotional angle. Women who went through a divorce but still want to wear a ring without the emotional baggage. Now here's where the magic happens. You can take any of these angles and present them using any of the concepts I mentioned. You could do a transformation narrative about the gym ring angle. You could do an us versus them ad about the ethical angle. You could do a founder-led video about the affordability angle. Do you see how this works? You just went from having 5 ad ideas to having 35 potential ad variations just by combining 7 concepts with 5 different angles. And this is just scratching the surface. The more angles you identify, the more ads you can create. Now let's talk about how to find different ad angles. So you're probably thinking, Mason, this sounds great, but how do I actually find these angles for my brand? Great question. Here's exactly what you need to do. Step number one, you need to mine your customer data. Go into your reviews, your customer service emails, your DMs, anywhere customers are talking about your product, and look for the hidden reasons people are buying. And I'm not talking about the obvious stuff. I'm talking about the psychological, deep reasons, the real motivations people are buying your product. Step number two, you're going to upload your customer reviews into ChatGPT or Claude or your favorite LLM. And here's a pro tip I give all my coaching clients. And then you're gonna ask it, what are the top 10 reasons people are buying from us? Who are our top 5 customer personas? What objections do people have to overcome before they buy? This will give you a gold mine of angles to test. Step number 3, look at your competitors. What angles are your competitors using? What's working for them? Don't copy them, but use them as inspiration. I had another coaching client who runs a Christian apparel brand, and the market was getting crowded, so we decided we needed to carve out a unique path. We identified angles like showcasing product quality and craftsmanship, before and after transformation stories of faith, targeting the trend of new Christians, and the us versus them concept against fast fashion. Each of these angles can be presented using multiple concepts, giving us dozens of ad variations to test. Step number 4, test everything. Here's the thing, you don't know which angles are going to resonate until you test them. I recommend creating multiple ads from each angle using different concepts. Maybe the travel ring angle works better as a testimonial than as a founder-led video. You won't know until you test. And use your customer feedback to guide your messaging. The data will tell you which angles are hitting home. Now let's talk about testing strategy. All right, so now you have all these ad variations. How do you actually test them without wasting a ton of money? Here's the exact testing framework I use with all my agency clients, my coaching clients, and even my own brand. You need to create a dedicated testing campaign. This should be a campaign with ad set budgets where you test ads in individual ad sets at low budgets. This becomes your testing ground for everything. And here's the key, test similar ads together, test static ads together around the same angle together, and test video ads around the same angle together. I don't recommend mixing statics and videos in the same ad set because typically one will suck up the spend versus the other, and you won't get answers on either ad. The goal is to get answers on every single ad you create. You're wasting money if you're not fully testing every ad and getting an answer. And it's bad for your creative team because they're not getting feedback on what works and what doesn't. If you're making your own creative, you're not getting feedback on what works and what doesn't. And once you identify your winners in your testing campaign, you can scale them in your testing campaign, and then you can also graduate them to your performance campaign. Only put your best of the best ads in your performance campaign. But here's something super important. I already kind of mentioned it, but you don't have to pause good ads in your testing campaign. If an ad is crushing in your testing campaign, run it up. Double up the budget using the double up method. And speaking of scaling, let me quickly cover this because it's crucial, even though I probably said it in a million of my videos. If a campaign or ad set is crushing, you need to use the double up method and double your ad spend. This is how I scale insanely fast. So you have a campaign spending $100 a day and it's performing well, double it to $200 and wait a few days. If it continues to crush, double it again to $400. Wait a few days. Continues to crush, double again to $800 and then $1,600. This is how you tell the algorithm it's doing well. You're rewarding it with budget. Now, what if you scale up to $1,600 a day and then the performance drops? Then you drop the budget down by 50% to $800. Then if it still doesn't work, you drop it down 50% again. And typically the algorithm will re-optimize because again, it is built to get you results so you can spend more. So when you drop it by 50%, you're gonna wanna refresh it with new creative and get it profitable again, and then get back to doubling up the spend. This is how I scaled brands so incredibly quickly, and this is how I scaled Ruggable from $1 million to $500 million a year in just 4 years. So literally by doubling the budget when things were working. Now let's talk about product pages versus landing pages. One question I get all the time in my coaching program is, Mason, should I create separate landing pages for each angle, or should I send everything to my product page? Great question, here's my answer. Your product pages should be designed to encompass multiple angles and serve as effective landing pages themselves. Think about it, if you have 5 different angles and you create 5 different landing pages, you're creating a ton of extra work. And if you're not already doing millions of dollars a month, this is wasted time. And you're potentially wasting good angles by not having optimized pages for them. Instead, make your product page robust enough to handle multiple marketing angles. Highly recommend focusing on enhancing your product pages before you consider separate landing pages. Get them dialed in, make sure they convert. And again, you should at least be doing like $1 million a month minimum before you start doing specific angle-based landing pages. Now let's talk about the consumable brand strategy. Before we wrap it up, I want to talk about a specific strategy for consumable and subscription brands because this is huge. I was on a coaching call recently with a client who sells a food product. They were struggling to compete against a VC-backed competitor who were running massive sales and making irresistible offers. So here's what I told them. This applies to any consumable or subscription brand. You need to make an irresistible offer. An offer, like Hormozi says, that makes people feel dumb by not taking it. Look at the brands crushing it in the consumable space. Liquid IV, AG1, Groons, Instant Hydration. What are they all doing? They're giving 40% off plus a free gift if you subscribe, making it basically a no-brainer to try the product. And here's the key insight. If your product is as good as you say it is, people will stay subscribed. You don't have to be insanely profitable on the first order. When you're a consumable brand, you're playing the lifetime value game. I told this client, give 40% off plus a free mini bottle of your product if people subscribe. Get the product in people's hands, get them using it, and let the quality do the work after that. The same is gonna go for supplement brands, skincare brands, really any consumable product. Don't box yourself into thinking you're too premium or too luxury to offer discounts. That's your ego talking. What matters is getting customers and building a business. The subscription model is so powerful because it creates recurring revenue, and if people love your product, they're going to keep ordering. The snowball effect and word of mouth marketing will also start to kick in. But none of this happens if you can't get people to try your product in the first place. So focus on acquisition, make an offer that's impossible to refuse, and let your product quality drive retention. Last, let's talk about creative diversification. This is so important for brands that want to scale. You should not only scale your spend and your creative production, but you should also scale your creative diversification. Now, what does that mean? On an evergreen basis, you should be running static ads, carousel ads, GIFs, short form videos, long form videos, dynamic product ads. Why? Because each individual person on Meta engages with different types of content. Some people only engage with dynamic product ads. And if you're only running video ads, you're not going to be able to reach them and they're invisible to you. So if you want to maximize the reach for your whole audience, you've got to diversify your creative, specifically your creative type within Meta. You've got to check the boxes on all the creative types. This is how you scale to massive levels. This is how you reach everyone within your audience. And when you combine creative diversification with the ad concepts and ad angles framework I just taught you, you have an unlimited supply of ad variations to test. You'll never run out of ideas. You'll never be stuck wondering what to create next. You just systematically work through the combination. All right, so that's the ad angles framework that's helped my agency and my brand and my coaching clients scale to 8 figures a month and beyond. If you liked everything you heard in this video, but you still think you need help or direction with your Meta ads, I can help you double your e-commerce brand's revenue profitably in 6 months or less in my coaching program, Meta Ads at Scale. This program is designed for startup brands up to brands doing $1 million a month. I personally guarantee that I can at least double your business, or else I will work with you for free until we get you there. We'll dial in your ad account structure, your creative strategy, your email and SMS marketing, your website optimization, and everything you need to scale profitably. If you want to learn more about the program, click the link in the description. You can watch a detailed video about what's included and sign up for an application call with myself or one of my team members. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, and drop a comment letting me know which part was most valuable to you. And if you have a question, drop a question in the comments as well. I read every single comment and will respond to questions. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.